how when you charging your phone, and then this particular Galaxy phone, it like it goes to updating to a bunch of things. I guess I should give it 10 minutes to get with the program. So I am here. I would never stand you up, guys, and not show up, because that's not who I am. Bonjour, bonjour, whoever is here. Buenos dias. Oh, let me put my thing on. Oh, I've been here for about 30 minutes. And just chopping and getting ready. So hopefully we're not going to like 2 hours like we did last week. Oh my God, that was way too long. We're not gonna do that today, right? All right, well, coming in. Good morning, bonjour. Hello, hello. I am chopping some rosemary to put in our cornbread. Why not? I have it, I love it. Good morning, bonjour, say good morning. The sun is shining, but it's a warm day today in Panama City. I haven't checked the news about the new storm that's gonna hit Florida again. Lord help us. I hope that little house just sustains. Good morning, bonjour, Robin, Danita, buenos dias. Es un día muy soleado aquí. We gotta practice our Spanish. One of the followers said they love it. The Panamanian love it when you speak Spanish. And in fact, I'm thinking of doing an online Spanish class for my ladies. A lot of them are real beginners. Good morning, Greta. Hey, good to see you, Jess. Happy Sunday to you as well. The weather's been kind of crazy here. You know, it is rainy season. And it used to be that people tell you rainy season was, you know, the rain comes in the afternoon. Let me see, I'm trying to get my volume all the way up. There we go. The rain comes in the afternoon. Last year, we had El Nino or La Nina and climate change, and it was so dry. We had no rain. Well, we can't say that about this year. And the thing that we see here is that there is no pattern now. Don't plan on, oh, I can get my work done in the morning and then I can, you know, stay home in the afternoon. It rains like 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the night. There's some bad storms. So, all right. So in here I have jalapeno and some rosemary. So how are you guys doing? 17 of you. Happy Sunday. How was your week? Spanish class, very good. So once I get it situated, I think I have to get a membership with Zoom so we can hold classes, and then it's going to be online. So I'll let you guys know, and then I need to find the right manual. If there was something that was virtual or digital, I want to say that everybody can have access to. If anybody knows or any, you know, like a book that can take someone from the very beginning all the way up, just, you know, to being intermediate, let me know, because we need to get that and then have everybody get it, and it's digital, so nobody has to touch anything and everything's going to be virtual, but everybody's going to have a chance to practice, to open their mouth and speak, which is what tenemos que hablar, abrir la boca y hablar. Even though you may not sound good or you don't think you sound good, it's important to open your mouth and speak the new language. Very good. So, anything special happened during this week? For me? No. You know, I had this left hip was bothering me a little bit, but it's better. So like when you get up in the morning, there's something I posted on the single women Facebook group. This guy, I think he's 59. He said, does anybody, I forgot what he said, but he said it takes him 30 minutes to kind of relax all the kinks, you know. He said he can't move for 30 minutes until he starts doing the bending, and so everything kind of loosens up. It's like, can anybody relate? And I'm like, yeah, I think we can. So in the bed, you know, you can do a lot of hip flexion and stretching. You could do a lot of things in the bed before you even get up. Those of us of a certain age, you young people probably can't relate, but yeah. My English is good. Well, it better be. I've been speaking English for 40 plus years. You mean my Spanish? I try to speak Spanish and I can, you know, manage. But I still have a lot to learn in terms of vocab. There's a lot of words I don't know. So every time I hear something, I'm like, what does that mean? You know, I started keeping like a list of new words, but it was just too much. Because it's just like you have to get your ears. Okay, so let me get started. It's not gonna take long today because we're doing veggie, vegetable chili, and then a cornbread. The cornbread doesn't take a long time. I have my cast iron in the oven. It was pre-seasoned when I bought it. And also I had some corn. I was roasting some corn, some fresh corn. We're gonna put some fresh corn in our cornbread. I know, not everybody does that, but we're doing that. Okay, let me see what I can put that. And when I was coming over, I left my cast iron, and when I was in South Africa, I said, I'm gonna need my cast iron. So I bought a big one. Ooh, that is so hot. Okay, calls for gloves. Yeah, I got a 12-inch pre-seasoned cast iron. I wish it was smaller, but it's not. The one that I have is a 12-inch. So I went ahead and, you know, cleaned it up and then put some oil just to get it ready. And we have our roast corn, which is great. So talk to me. What's going on with you guys? Your skin is very soft and have a lot of moisturizer. It's the temperature here, the heat. It's humid and I'm close to the water, so there's a lot of moisture. That's why we have trouble with mold sometimes, because it's so humid here. So it's good for your skin. I don't use a lot of moisturizer, maybe a little dab here and there, but it's the weather. But thank you. All right, let's start. Yeah, let's go ahead and start with the chili. Now, you guys know that last week we made vegetable chili. So, I mean, not vegetable chili, we made marinara, right? So I am kind of ahead of the curve in the sense that I'm going to use some of that. Okay? All right, I hope you can see it. There we go. Let me know if you can see the pot. I'm using a kind of a shallow pot because I don't want to make a lot. And I also warmed up and thawed out a couple of my veggie balls that we made last week. And we're gonna pretend that that's gonna be our ground meat at the end to kind of help the texture. Hello, Maggie. Hola. You can see it, perfect. All right, so let's turn it on. So I thought today for our little chat, we can, okay, I think I'm gonna need some onions. See. Onion, cebolla en español. La cebolla. El ajo, garlic. So yeah, we did the that's why I always have marinara, because you can use the marinara for any kind of pasta that you have, or you can use it to make chili. Okay? So that is not a problem, and it's good. You know, I wanted to let you know too that a good cook always have certain things in her kitchen, like extra virgin olive oil, fresh garlic, fresh ground pepper, pasta, chickpeas, any kind of beans that you like, tomato sauce, good butter. I am whole food plant based, but if I'm doing something and I need good butter, I found some New Zealand butter here. Now this is probably like $8 or $9. Nothing is cheap. That's why when someone says you can come to Panama and live on $1,000 a month, I don't know. I don't know how you would do that, where you would live, what you would eat for that. So if you want to retire and not really stress, and you know, you need to have a little bit of income, okay? Whether it's coming from your Social Security or whether it's investment, rental, whatever, okay? Don't go somewhere, move, and then be scringing. Of course, that takes discipline, right? What you going to do with your money. If you're gonna go eat out 5 times a week to fancy restaurant, you know, the ladies, people who know me know here, don't invite me to this fancy restaurant. I'm not going. I'm not spending my money like that. Oh, that's too hot. Yeah, because this pan is shallow. And remember, controlling temperature is one of the best skills that you're gonna have as a cook. I can tell you how many times I would be cooking, but my heat was too high, and the chef, you know, like your onions, you don't want it to burn. And the chef would say, gotta start over, because it's going to affect the taste of the dish. Right. Okay, I thought I would talk about also some of the things that people who are here worry about being able to find. When it comes to food, if you are beholden to like a certain brand of something, you're gonna have trouble, because what we do is we just get the local alternative, right? If you are looking for olive oil, maybe you use a certain brand. Listen, this is a former Spanish colony. They have lots and lots of olive oil here, lots of olives and capers and tomato product because of the history, right? But I was also able to find curry powder, Jamaican curry powder, because if you know, we have a lot of Jamaican ancestry in Panama. So people who are Jamaicans, you know, they get it here. You go to areas here called Rio Abajo, there is a large Jamaican population there. So if you want to get some food, you want to go to some stores and find Jamaican themed items, you're going to find them there, right? So you have to relax your expectation. Peanut butter. There is peanut butter here, but if you want Jif, it's gonna cost you, right? Panamanian are not big on what is it again that people cereal and stuff. They eat a lot of oats. We call that avena, right? So you just adjust and adapt. Now the ladies with their hair, I get questions sometimes, will I be able to find somebody to do my hair? Yes. They have people who do locks and stuff. I don't know about relaxers. I know my green guy friend, she goes to Multi Plaza and gets her hair colored and cut. But they have a lot of people who do braids here. And again, remember our ancestry. We have a lot of Caribbean people here. So, and I see a lot of the Panamanian ladies using, braiding their hair as well. So I'm putting the peppers, which is gonna be the only veggies I'm gonna put in this chili. Okay. So we're gonna put that, we're gonna season, let it cook a little bit, then add our peas. So today I have 3 kinds of peas. When I first made chili, we only used kidney beans, the red big ones. But you know what? It kind of gives me a little bit of heartburn. So I have not been using that. When I do my chilies, I do 3 bean chilies. I put white beans. So I have a can of cannellini beans. Or you can cook some beans. I cooked some black beans this morning. And I also have some pinto beans. So 3 kinds of beans when we're ready to put the beans in. All right. We can season this baby because these peppers are good. Topping. Black pepper. And the cornbread only takes about 15-20 minutes. Adobo. And that one has salt, so we don't ever need to add salt to our food. Oh, very rarely. Slap your mama. And you know, when people ask me for recipes, listen, ladies, just watch me do it because I don't measure. If you say, Maggie, how much of this do you put? I'm like, it's up to you. Paprika. Always use lots of paprika. Just like I use a lot of garlic. In my view, you can't ever have too much garlic. Okay. So now we are going to add our beans. So these are the pinto beans. You know, you soak your beans overnight and then they cook so much faster. Before you go to bed, rinse them and put them in a little bit of water. And of course, I always put fresh garlic when I'm cooking beans. So now I just take it and I mash it into my food. Right? Okay, we're gonna add the black beans again with the garlic. The black beans here are a little bit different because it's like they cook, they kind of break apart and something a little different about them. But that's what we got. Oh, that's a lot of beans. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit of the cannellini beans. I like this bean, but again, I can't have too much of it. Yep, that's good. All right, we'll let this cook for a little bit before we add our marinara. So if you didn't have marinara, before you put the beans, you would have added your, if you had Roma tomato that you diced really small. And also when you could buy a can of tomato sauce and a can of crushed tomato. That means you're trying to get that texture. But remember that last week we made our marinara and it had texture already. So this is our marinara from last week and it's got all the goodness in it. So I don't need to go crazy with, texture in here. All right, let's just cook for a minute. All right, let's see. Do we have any questions? Cannellini beans, yes, I love them. Maggie, do you recommend or know Giovanna Bernal? She was my attorney. She helped me get my residency. Yes, we recommend her, and she's helped so many people get residency here. Let me push this up a little bit. Yes, Giovanna is very, I don't want to say loved, but people deal with her with their residency issues. I've had no issues. And there is another lady that people recommend also. What is her name? She is out of Chiriquí. I think they have an office here in Panama City as well. But anyway, if you need somebody else, I could tell you. But yeah, she's good. My mom makes 3-bean chili. Yes, yes. Yeah, you could use ground beef. I used to use ground turkey when I was eating meat. But today we're gonna pretend we have ground meat and put some of our balls in it. It's gonna give it a little bit of texture. Professor LCH, hola, hola. Yeah, things are good in Panama. The new president seems to be doing okay. He was at the UN last week. I don't know if you guys saw him. He gave a nice speech because Panama definitely is challenged with the migrant situation because we have the Darien Gap, which is towards Colombia. And that's why from Panama to Colombia, we can't drive through. It's a big old forest that has a lot of illegal stuff going on there. So they tell you do not go, it's called the Darien Gap. But some of these immigrants, they cross that to get to Panama on their way to the US. So there's a lot of stuff happening in that gap. People get raped, people get killed, they found bodies. And imagine thousands of people going through that forest and all their waste and garbage, they drop things. It's a challenge. And the president was saying, you know, this is not our problem. How come we're the only one responsible for it? Because when they get to Panama, they have to take care of them, food, medical care. It's crazy. And my heart goes out to the immigrants, right? But it's a challenge. And I don't even know, there are smarter people, smarter than me. We don't know. I don't know what the solution is because I'm a centrist. I'm not like against immigration. I was an immigrant when I was in my 20s or 18, but it's a challenge. What do you do? People coming with their children. There was a young man the other day in the news. I think he was from Guatemala. And when they're crossing some of those rivers, sometimes the water now in rainy season, the water is so strong, they kind of make a chain, right? So they can carry people across. And he was passing his child over to someone. The child slipped and went. That's how he lost his child. I mean, whoo, it's crazy. And some people who have made it are working now in those centers where they accept, when they receive the immigrants, you know, to provide medical care, but psychological care, because, you know, these people, these women who decide to just pay somebody to take them over, you know, they're going to pretty much, you know, do whatever they want with them. And you are in a very vulnerable situation. So they rape them, they do all kinds of things to them, and there's nothing they can do. So when they come here, they're PTSD, right? They have PTSD. And that's one thing I wish I could find a way to go there and help, because the human situation is insane. And then what they're saying also, I forgot what they used to call those people to bring them over, but it's like organized crime. You know, people are, they see a way to make money by exploiting the vulnerable. How do you live with yourself? All right, let's put some marinara in here because I don't want the beans to overcook. Woo. Nice. That looks so good. Another issue that I've noticed is becoming a little bit more prevalent, but maybe just to me because I've only been here a year and a half. We're having a lot of drug seizures here in Panama because, you know, all Latin America is, because whatever country you have that borders the ocean, we're prime target, right? Because, you know, they're going to try to get things across. It starts in the south and then it crosses the ocean all the way up to go to the Netherlands and Germany and all the places where people have an insatiable need for illegal drugs. So I've seen the police really catch a lot of them. All right, I'm just going to put a little bit of water in here. I don't have broth, but if you did have broth, you can put some veggie broth in here, okay? I had some broth the other day, but I don't cook. It went bad. I should have bottled it and put it in the freezer, but yeah, that's all I need to do with this here, okay? I just want to thin it out. And I do have basil, but I'm not going to add basil because this is not an Italian type of dish. That's what I said. Once if whatever you're making, if you have good marinara, you don't really have to put anything else in it. The taste is already there. So I think the only thing I might need to add to this is a splash of my lime juice. Remember what I said? You always want to finish off with lime juice. So no rosemary in here, but I do have some perejil, parsley. Let's see, what else? They call rosemary romero in Spanish. Jalapeno is still jalapeno, right? Corn, maíz. All right. Oh, I think it's exactly the way I want it. Let's just turn this heat down. Yeah, let's do a little bit of parsley. Oh, that's an Italian parsley, perfect. And you know we have two types of parsley, right? You have the regular, and then there's an Italian type. I use this one when I make my soup. So we're not gonna be long today because this chili was, but that cornbread, oh boy. Now I don't make cornbread here, okay? Because, oh my, I'm very sensitive to carbs. Okay. All right. Yep, our chili is ready. Now, if I wanted to pretend that I have some ground beef in here, I think I'm just gonna put 2, not 3, just the 2 of my my veggie balls, and just cut them up in pieces not to let them disintegrate all the way. Because when I do ground turkey and I'm doing chili, I don't cut them really small. I just like chunks, right? Okay. Voila. Chili is done. Oh, lemon juice. Now this is Panama. We have mostly lime. You do have lemon too. It took me 2 months to find lemon the first time I was here. Because I was like, I'm looking for lemon until I said, shoot, let me just use the lime. Okay, that should be done. Not a lot. Everything in balance. You don't want to overwhelm any dish with anything that you add to it. So now you guys who might live in some place where it's you have fall, perfecto. All right, vamos. You're gonna put that there. You can turn that off. And let's get ready to do our cornbread. But you know what I was thinking also we could chat about is how to deal with disappointment in your life. Have you had any disappointments? Had anybody disappointed you? Whew, I've had a lot of that. All right, we are going to do our dry ingredients. Now again, if you ask me, Miss Maggie, how much of this, how much of that, you can just write it down if you want, because I don't usually measure a lot. But when you're baking, you tend to kind of want to measure. But some people just put it in there. You eyeball. Good cooks, you know, your grandmas and stuff, they didn't have those things, right? So we're gonna do, and I don't, of course, I don't eat a lot of flour. So that's about 1 cup. It's a little bit less. Yeah. 1 disclaimer. This cornbread is not whole food plant-based, okay? I have some pet peeve. One of my pet peeve is if you decide not to eat something and you say, I'm vegan, I don't eat butter, I respect that. Why do you go out of your way to get vegan butter? To me, a butter that is not made from the cow's milk cream is not butter. I don't care what you call it. Okay? I see people go out of their way to try to make a vegan sausage using beans and all, I mean beets and all kind of things. Why? If you don't want to eat sausage, don't eat sausage. And the one that got me is the vegan croissant. You know, I have French origin. If you say a vegan croissant, and I'm like, what is that? If you don't have the butter in it, it's not a croissant. I know that's funny, but it's like, stick to what you don't want to eat. You know, I say I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat, but I'm not going to try to get a fake meat to make me feel like I'm eating meat. What is that? You know, people used to do they had the burgers. You saw how we made the veggie burgers, that we made it really easy and simple. Go buy I forgot the brand of veggie or bean burger and see all the stuff. The list is this long. Is that a better choice? I'm sorry, I don't think so. All right, so it's not vegan. So you're gonna see milk, cheese, and egg and all this stuff, okay? Oh, I forgot to take the egg out. You always want your eggs at room temperature when you're baking. So I forgot to take that one out. But when you're making cornbread, you need some regular all-purpose flour. You also need the cornmeal. Now, I don't know if you remember the Quaker cornmeal in the little paper box. They don't have that here. I went to different places, couldn't find it. So I had to settle for something close to it. So if you here in Panama, you want to make cornbread, if you're gonna buy Jiffy, you can. I'm not a Jiffy kind of girl. You can figure that out. I don't do that. But that's part of the processed food that they have to add stuff to it, right? So you don't need to use Jiffy. Jif or Jiffy, yeah. So I was in the store yesterday. I was at one mall, El Dorado Mall, and I saw polenta. So I was like, oh, that looks kind of close to it, but of course they don't use that much here. It was pricey. I said, okay, I'm gonna go back to my store and hopefully I can find something. Because you always find some type of corn product here because of the indigenous history and culture. There's a lot of corn-based items here. So the closest I could find was this thing here. There's something they make here called shishimi. It's like a drink that is corn-based. I haven't tried it yet. I will, because I'm gonna be doing a food series for you guys. But this one I felt looked a little bit closer to what I'm looking for. It's still not as grainy as I would like, because they have a lot of really fine, they call it crema de harina. I like to make some kind of cream with milk and stuff, but I think this might work. So let us try. I see. I'm gonna need another cup or a cup and a half of that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's still a little bit fine, but okay, one. Yeah. It's not quite 1.5, but that's good. I don't have to open the other one. And you are gonna have a little bit of salt, and they use a little bit of sugar, all right? I'm asking for forgiveness, but you have to have some sugar in your cornbread. So we're gonna put like a tablespoon. Yeah, about 2. That should do it. Then you're gonna put a little bit of salt, not too much. I don't measure. And some baking soda, because you want it to rise, right? Now, baking soda is something that I stay away from because it's so salty, and I'm so sensitive to salt. I'm sensitive to carbs, salt, and soy sauce. I can't eat those things, right? But if you have like a bad indigestion, it works. I haven't had indigestion in a long time, since I was pregnant. Thank you, Lord. So we are going to, I think that's about 1 teaspoon, so I think that's enough. And then we're gonna mix those really well. Some people sift their flour. I was watching this lady from the Appalachian Mountain today, and she says, if you have a cup of sifted flour and a cup of unsifted flour, the unsifted weigh a lot more. I didn't know that. I think she was trying to make biscuits, and you need some kind of air inside your the flour. All right. So now we're gonna do the wet items. It calls for, and again, leche entera means whole milk. Okay. Now I've never bought milk here, so I don't know how you open that. Oh, okay. Oh, that's fancy. 1 cup of whole milk. There's a little bit left in here, so if I need to, I can add. And With my recipe, I always add a little bit of sour cream. You know, it's like when you're making what's that, pound cake? When you make that cake and you put some sour cream, it just kind of give it a certain je ne sais quoi. So I'm gonna put a little bit. And I found sour cream yesterday. I was so shocked. This was 2 something. Usually everything that, you know, like what's that cream cheese that we use a lot around the holidays? Philadelphia, you should see the price of those things. One of the little 8 ounce is like 6 something, $7. So let's see. I think that's a big tablespoon is good enough. We don't need to overpower. All right. And then the eggs. And when you get eggs here in Panama, the yolk is so orange and just like, you know how when we buy eggs at home, it's like pale, and I hated those eggs. But when you buy like a free range or whatever and they're nice and yellow, yeah. Let's see, is there anything else I'm missing? Oh, oil. Now, for the cornbread, you could use oil or you could use melted butter. I like to do a mixture, okay? So I'm gonna put some, oh, what is that? Now remember I talked about the New Zealand butter. That butter, I think the first time I tried the local brand here, I did not like it. And of course, they have the Irish, what's the Irish brand? I forgot. But you guys know the Irish brand of butter that is so good. The Antichrist, get away from here. You're so pretty, ma'am. Cream cheese is expensive at home too. Oh my gosh. All right, so we're going to put maybe this much. We're gonna melt that. Yeah, and then I like to put some pepper in my cornbread. So I'm gonna do some cracked pepper. And I'm also putting some red pepper flakes. That's me, okay? Just a little bit, not too much. So you know that bread is gonna be kind of warm. Not hot, but warm. Okay, so the butter has melted, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil. I know last year around the holidays, I was trying to make a berry compote, you know, with fresh berries, and the little pint of blackberries was like $8. I'm telling you, it's crazy here. All right. Don't want to cook the egg, so I'm going to put it really slowly. All right, now let's mix. So what's gonna happen with this cornbread is that because it's gonna go into a bigger pan, it's gonna be thinner. But if I had like an 8-inch or 9-inch, it would be better. All right. The other thing too with your cornbread is that you don't want to overmix it. I saw this guy, you know, it's funny how I see some people cook online and then I'm like, what are you doing? You're a chef. If you overmix this, it's gonna have a different consistency. It's like making buttermilk biscuits, right? If you beat it too much, then you're gonna try to make a cake. And that's not what you want. So you're just going to fold in. You've heard that term, right? You fold in. You don't whisk it. Okay, I'm gonna turn the oven on. With these cornbread, you want your oven to be like about 400. Okay? And all the ovens here are in centigrade. So I learned to stay between 150 and 200 and I'm safe. And I have an electric stove. So, and it was new, so it works really well. I like it. Fold, fold. I'll make sure I don't have some dry spots, right? The last thing I'm gonna put in here is some cheddar cheese. Remember I said this is not whole food plant-based. You don't have to put cheese in your cornbread. I just like to. My original recipe also had bacon. So good. I had a friend, so that's about half a cup. I had a friend, she loved that bread, that cornbread. And I would just make it and put it like in a gift bag. All right, let's have a taste. Jalapeno and a little bit of rosemary. This is a jalapeno cornbread. It's not very sweet, which is good because I don't like it too sweet. Oh, and our roasted corn. That was a fresh ear of corn. I just chopped it off and then just added a little bit of oil before I put it in the oven. All righty. So we have jalapeno, we have fresh corn, we have some rosemary. This is gonna be good. And it's not very sweet. So if you were to buy Jiffy, Jiffy is sweet. We're not doing sweet, okay? Butter, cheese, yeah. You can't go wrong. All right, let's bring the pan. For what some people recommend, some really good cook, they would put some lard. You know, they would put some lard here. I mean, I'm not doing plant-based, but I'm not gonna go as far as lard, okay? And then they put it in the oven so that when they put that corn, it sizzles. You could do that, but we don't have to go that far. You see how pretty it looks? I love this bowl. I found it here. I didn't buy this because it's heavy and I know I wouldn't be able to come with it, but it is so nice. So like I said, because this cast iron is a little bit large, so the cornbread is going to be a bit on the thin side. Okay? There it goes. So 400 and about 20 minutes. Okay? All right. So that's all we're doing today. But we can chat while we're waiting on the need the extra milk. Well, you can start thinking of your questions that you want to ask me. Last Wednesday, I did a first live for the what I call seasoned creators, meaning older people wanting to start a YouTube channel. Because I think as of today, we are at 43, 50 something. So we keep growing slowly and steadily. And I thank you guys. I really do. It seems like the last video I did about how a 66-year-old got her channel monetized, it kind of resonated with a lot of people. Because in the first live, what I did, I said, we have a lot to say at our age, right? If you've lived to be 40, 50, you've learned, you've developed skills, and life has hit you upside the head a few times, right? So you can help other people. And the YouTube platform is perfect for that, because look at us, we are chatting, we don't know each other, right? But we can exchange information, we can support each other. And the first live on Wednesday, my topic was, I made the case for why YouTube is the best platform for our age group, right? It is for all age groups, but now because you have baby boomers, 1,000 plus retiring every day, people are living longer. We need information about all kinds of things. And that's where I personally go when I'm looking to learn the how-tos, right? I love Google, and I give them a history of YouTube, that was started by 3 college dropouts that used to work for PayPal. And they went through the growing pains of any company, and they were, I don't want to say absorbed, but they were taken over by none other than Google. So why do you think now YouTube is the #2 search engine, only behind Google? So Big Daddy is up here and YouTube is over here. You know, billions of searches, 500 new videos uploaded every minute on this platform. Multiply that by how many minutes in a day. That's insane. The scale, I can't even comprehend it. So there's a lot of vibe out there saying that, oh, people over 50 should start a YouTube channel because you have so much to say, you have so much knowledge you can share. And there is all kinds of information floating around. And I told them, I said, the only thing I can do is share with you how I got here. And of course, this is not the end. I'm just getting started, right? So I made the case for them that yes, if you're thinking of starting a channel, it's a good decision. You're in the right place. This is the right time, because there's no limit as to what you can teach, share. There is no limit as to how much you can earn, but there is a system. And I told them, don't come to YouTube thinking that it's easy. It's not, it's work. And when you see me putting videos out there, it takes a lot of time to come up with the topic, to write the script, to decide how you're going to present it, how you present it. Make sure you do your research for your sources. It's like being in college. You don't want to put information out there that is not true. And there is a lot of that on YouTube. And unless you know, if you're swallowing information without vetting, without double checking, you're getting the wrong information. Okay, so the sky is the limit as to what you can do. You get in it, out of it, what you put in it. But what you need to decide is, why am I doing it? What do I expect to get out of it, right? And I told them, you have to use YouTube, like you have to look at it like a business. And the people who are doing really, really well on YouTube will tell you they studied the system. Some of them said they have cracked the code of the algorithm, you know, Mr. Algorithm that I'm still trying to figure out. Some people say they know exactly what information they need to put out there. I mean, the delivery. They talk about the hook. When you do your thumbnail, that's the attention grabber. So if you know how we are, we have short attention span. Unless something is kind of off the wall, people don't even take a look at it, right? So you have to master those skills. And then the first 5 seconds of a video are so important. So I'm still working through all that. So there is a system, and the people who are successful have studied the system, and it becomes second nature. I'm not looking to have 1 million subscribers, because this is when you start losing. You're no longer a creator, you're a business person. Now you have to hire a team of people, somebody to do your thumbnail, somebody to look at your script, somebody to come up with ideas. And then before you know it, you're a manager. And I'm like, I'm retired. I don't want that. I want to share, but I don't want to be consumed by it. But everybody has to decide for themselves what they want and how much effort they're willing to put into it. That's all I'm going to say about that. You confirmed something for me today. I feel better about sending my 5,000 to the... I believe in your sincerity. I can see how the quality of your videos is getting better and better. Those thumbnails are looking great. Well, thank you. And I think I mentioned to you guys, I hired a virtual assistant out of the Philippines because I am not technically blessed. I don't know how to create thumbnails like that. So I pay somebody to do it. So you have to know your strength and your weaknesses and surround yourself with the services that might enhance what you do. That was a decision I made right after I got off the 30-day challenge. It was like, okay, if I'm going to really make quality thumbnails and videos, I need some help. And you know, I think it's a sign of maturity to realize you don't know everything, that you need help. You know, it's like a working mom with young kids making a lot of money. It's like, hire a housekeeper. It's okay. You don't have to feel guilty about that. Okay, any other questions? I thought I would talk about, like I said, how do you handle the disappointments of life? You know, I'm 66 years old and I was married, divorced, 3 kids. You know, you learn a lot through those years. And I tell people, no one escapes life university. Nobody escapes, right? So if life is going good for you for a moment, rejoice, be thankful, but keep thinking, it's coming. It's right behind you. You don't know when or how, but it's coming. Okay, whether it's relationships, whether it's financial, business, whatever it is, we don't escape it. And how do you know, whether you're disappointed, whether it's the kids, whether it's the relationship, your marriage or significant other, whether it's at work, you know, women, especially African-American women, we go through a lot in the workplace in terms of microaggression. And I don't think it's typical to us. I think it's the human element. People just don't want to see others succeed. I don't understand that, Because for me, when I see a sister succeeding, I'm like clapping. I'm so excited for you. Why can't you be excited for me? I don't understand that. But I expect it. I've come to realize this is how the human experience is, that because there is so much evil and jealousy and hate. I mean, it's all over us, right? All around us. So the way you deal with disappointment is by having the expectation or not having the expectation that this person is going to be your corner, that this is your friend, she's going to have your back, that your child is going to come out the way you want them to come out, that your spouse is going to be, or significant other is going to be that perfect partner and he won't cheat on you. Right? So I'm not saying, and there's a balance there. I'm not saying be negative. That is not what I'm saying. But check your expectation. Because if you don't put that person on the pedestal, when he falls off, you're not going to be, oh, bent out of shape. Oh my God. It's the same thing when people see those pastors and preachers fall and they're like, oh, it's like, what? They are humans, right? With all the frailties and temptations. Just like I say, you have to guard your heart and really think about what you allow to come into this temple, and that the people you hang out with, the kind of work that you do, the kind of entertainment you get yourself into, the societies, the networking, the people you hang around, the stuff that you watch online, the stuff that you watch on television. You are the gatekeeper, right? If I'm looking at something, like on my phone, sometimes something shows up on my phone and immediately I'll say delete, or I say not interested. You know what I'm saying? Because these social media platforms, your YouTube, Facebook, IG, TikTok, they are designed to track. Hello, Mustafa. Hello. Thank you so much for loving my videos. But they are trained to track your likes and dislikes. So when you click on a video, the algorithm, Mr. Algorithm says, oh, you like that kind of stuff, then I'm going to send you more. And the more you engage, the more you feeding yourself this kind of stuff. And that's how people get radicalized online, right? The people who are, you're going to take a 14-year-old girl, you're going to strap a bomb to her body. That's not normal. That kid has been radicalized. So you yourself, and that's how parents, have parental controls on television and all these gadgets these kids have, because there's no filter. You have to be the one to watch out for what is coming into your home, what your kids are watching, who they hang out with. Because by the time sometime you realize it is too late. So as a grown person, I am the gatekeeper of my heart, of my mind, of my emotions. So if I say, okay, God give me these children to train, to feed them, to raise them, but I don't own these children. When I get to a certain point, I have to let them loose, but I have to be sure that I have engaged, that I've invested me into them. And your kids are going to make their own decisions. So I can't take that on and say, oh, it's my fault, it's my fault. Now, if I did not, engage and invest, I might. But when the negative happens, you have to be at peace with yourself to say, well, you know what? I did my best. My conscience is clear. I can pray. I can hope. I release. And that has to do with relationships too. That's why, this week, I saw this young woman, she has gone through a lot. She had a really bad divorce and she had some kids and she's a single parent. She's got good family support, thank goodness. And then she's got two different careers. And I'm sitting on this side and I'm thinking, she's not asking me for advice. I'm not giving advice. That's another thing. If you don't ask me, I don't volunteer. And I'm saying, she's doing too much, right? Because we as women, we bought into the lie that we can have the beautiful home, we can have the 6-figure income, we're gonna have a body to kill for, we're gonna be on all these boards, and then we're gonna be doing all, and then somewhere something's gonna give. Something's gonna give. And that is the lie that we have been told. Your sign of success means you're living in this neighborhood. You have this house that you really can't afford, but you don't want your friends or your colleagues to see that you're not up, you Delta, and you have to do all this stuff just to kind of keep up with the Joneses. That is a recipe for depression, anxiety, and breakdown, ladies. Okay? And again, the expectation, we put those things on ourselves. And I hope that the younger generation, I know my daughter, who is a millennial, she's not like that. She's like, well, we don't want this hard. So there is a shift, thank God. There are other issues too, but at least they figured that you don't have to work 70 hours to be successful while you're destroying your body, while you're neglecting your home, while you're neglecting your relationships. You got to have a priority list, what's most important, and go down, right? So the thumbnail, yes, like I said, I hire a virtual assistant and she does my thumbnail. I give her the title and we work together, because I'm the one, I'm the creator, so I know what I want, so I tell her what I want and she delivers it. How are you? I am good, thank you. Absolutely, recipe for breakdown. Yes, it is. And sometimes, you hear these people, they crash and burn, and you're like, oh my God, how could that happen? I would never have thought that. Well, you were not living her life. You didn't know what kind of pressure she was on. The pressure to be perfect, the pressure to do it all, to have it all. Oh my God, it is so wrong. And Stephanie Perry has a group where a bunch of women are saying they just want to breathe. People would say how they used to have headaches all the time. People have, stomach issues, as we know, are related to stress. People break out in hives. People have anxiety. So many people, like with my daughter's generation, the 30s, 2030s, she's like, Mom, most of my friends are on anti-anxiety medication. So these kids are not immune. They may not be under the pressure to have the best jobs or whatever, but they are anxious about the future. They're anxious about the way our country, where we're heading, the shift in the whole psyche of this world, this country, how people treat each other. We have no values now. Everybody does whatever they want. Nobody believes in anything. Oh, well, your truth, my truth. If I don't bother you, I can do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want to you. It's no good. Again, manage your expectation. Don't be negative. And that's where the balance comes. Do I just say, she's going to break my heart, he's going to be cheating on me? That's not what I'm saying, right? But manage your expectations so that when the world hits you upside the head with something, and that's when resilience comes, how you handle the situation. Do you crumble and die and roll into a little ball? Or do you say, okay, this is hard, And that's why I used to always quote Psalm 23. And I used to say, when you walk through the valley, and I used to underline through, you're going to be going through something. That doesn't mean you stay there. You're going through, but you're walking towards getting your way out, right? So that's where you build that sense of fortitude that says, Whatever this life brings at me, I'm going to handle it head on. I mean, you might be bruised up a little bit. You'll be bruised up a little bit. And I don't know if you know, I shared that when I closed my cafe, that was such a failure for me. I was so heartbroken. I had not failed at anything in my life, and I was like in my early 50s, I think. I sat there at my kitchen table for 2 months. I could not move. I was paralyzed with sadness. I was so hurt and disappointed in myself that I had failed at something. But it's good for the soul. Failure is good for the soul. It's like a cleansing. Because then you realize, I'm not all that. I am a human being. Even though, like I told you, I used to work so hard because I was like, I'm going to make it work. But I was bumping into cars. I was ready to kill myself trying to make this business succeed. But when it failed, I felt like a failure. I myself had failed. I lost a lot of money. So I sat there. And this is where the grieving part comes, right? Ooh, I was checking on the cornbread. This is where the grieving part comes in. If something happens to you, you have to allow yourself time to grieve. You have to miss what happened. You have to cry over it. You need to. And that's why when some people experience some kind of trauma or somebody dies and then they say, I haven't been able to cry. You have to get to the point where you cry and release it. It's cleansing. So I sat there and I was like, oh, I can't believe it. Or I felt so bad. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was crying. But you know, when you are grieving, it's a process. You cannot stay in that grieving situation for a long time. That's when it becomes dangerous. That's when depression becomes clinical. Okay? So whatever you need to do, maybe you force yourself to get out, go for a walk. You force yourself to allow a friend to come and talk to you. You distract yourself by watching a documentary or a movie. Whatever, like for me, I'd come in the kitchen and I would cook something. Because you walking your way out, you're not gonna sit there. So one day, because I'm resilient, after 2 months, and I remember sitting there and ate myself into oblivion too. After 2 months, one day I woke up and I said, okay, Maggie, enough of the pity party. Pity party is over. Time to buckle up and get back up there. Get back out there. And that's what I did. And I remember in my mind, I was talking to myself and I said, enough. That's it. You had your pity party. It's over. Let's get on with life. And that's what I did. So I can look back and say, yes, I went through a failure. You can look back and say, yes, I went through a nasty divorce. Yes, I'm a cancer survivor, but I'm a survivor. That's resilience. I'm out of that valley, baby. I feel like I can breathe now. Good for you, Jess. I'm so happy. I know that feeling. Oh my God, it was horrible. I got a divorce too. You grieve through everything that happens to you. What you need to remember is that it's a process that you need to go through to come out stronger, right? So when I talk about expectation, when you get disappointed by your partner or by your kids or by the job, you work so hard, you expected to be promoted and then they chose somebody else. How do you handle that? And you still have to keep your job. You need your job. How do you deal with the person who got promoted over you, knowing that you're the better qualified person? So are you going to be sitting there making nasty comments, being rude, and got to get over yourself? You got to get over yourself. If it becomes so bad that you can't stand it, then you make a move, right? You make a move. Because life is going to hand you things. And it's, what's his name? Chuck Swindoll. I don't usually quote preachers because, but he said something. He said, life is 80% what happens to you. 10% or 20% what happens to you, and 20% how you react to it. Something to that effect. That most of the effort needs to come to how you handle the situation. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. I'll never be able to marry again. I'll never be able to find somebody to love me. Oh my God, I'll never find a job like that again. First of all, never should not be in your vocabulary. Always and never. Life is a continuum. And personally, a lot of times, all right, let me check that cornbread before. I don't want it to burn. So, we're going to check it with the fork. I tell you that cast iron is hot, boy. You can really hurt yourself. Ugh. Yep, it's done. All right. So let it cool off. Just like I said, it was going to be a little bit on the thinner side because the cast iron is so big, so large, because it's a 12-inch. I got the biggest one. And I don't use it that much. It tends to splash, when I'm cooking things, I'm like, oh, But anyway, it's really how you react to situation. There are some people who are really negatively inclined. So if anything happens, it's like, oh my God, drama, the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. There's a lot more that can happen to you. So don't sweat it, because we all going through some things. Why do I always get banned from these channels for asking questions? Aren't Christians supposed to be open-minded? I don't know what kind of question. This is not a Christian channel, so yes, you go through it, you learn from it, you move on. But strong heart, not everybody can do that. Some people really struggle through that. And then struggling through it is okay, as long as you're moving. So the next time something happens, you handle it better, right? Yeah. Dr. Seuss, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. That's a good one. That's a good one. I remember when I was in church, somebody used to say, you need to learn to thank God for the challenges or something. And I used to always say, I'm not there yet where I can say, thank you for bringing this calamity. I'm like, I'm going to hang in there. I'm going to try to get through it. But to thank you for it, I don't know if I'm going to be, if I'm going to be there. Dropping gems. But I think the people that you see who are always complaining or are negative, and my thing is, I stay away from those people, because to me, they just drag me. They just suck the life out of me, and I just don't want to do that. Okay, another thing, I want to do a little something to that, this cornbread. Let's see. We're going to brush it with a little bit of butter and honey. Shh. I do that. All right, I still have a little butter here. My New Zealand butter. I love it. Okay. And then we're going to put a little bit of honey and brush it. Oh, do I have a brush here? somebody used to say, do you ever know people you say, well, what a beautiful morning? And they're going to say, what's beautiful about it? Right? And then I'm like, don't ask them how they're doing because they're going to tell you. It's like, oh my God, no. But I think it is, people need to take responsibility for their own emotions. They need to take responsibility for how they respond to what life is going to throw at them, because life is going to throw some stuff at you, right? All right, so we have the butter, and then I'm going to put like a little bit of honey. Now, believe it or not, honey is not that expensive here. And we're going to brush it. Some people just pour it, but I'm just brushing it. And you do it while it's hot, so it can get absorbed in the crust. All right, I think we're done. We're just gonna put some of that chili on a plate and cut a slice of this so you guys can see it. This is your time to ask me any question. My mom used to say while cooking on Sunday, if I complain about something, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yes. Now go to the, I like your mom. And you know, that's another pet peeve. People who never forget something that happened to them years ago and they keep bringing it up and they never move on. You got to move on, sis. You got to learn to move on. You can't carry, it's like a weight you carrying around. It holds you down. No, let it go. And sometimes you may need some help to get you to that point where you can let it go. It's okay. And that's when therapy works. But some people, even if they have therapy, they just can't let go of things. That's not good. All right, so we're gonna put some of that chili in here. Woo. And let's cut some of that cornbread. Cornbread. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah. Oh my God. Now I'm gonna have to call somebody to come and take this thing out of here because that is hazardous to my health. Okay, what could we put on there to decorate this? Some parsley, that's all I have. Chili and cornbread. Chili and cornbread. Okay. So cornbread looks really good. And you see how long it took? It didn't take a long time. Oh, there it is. Whew, that stuff's heavy. All right, guys, we've been on an hour and 24 minutes. Any other question? Never move on. Did all the kitchen equipment come with the apartment? Not the pots and pans. The microwave. Of course, you know, the big, they call that linea blanca, which means all your appliances. But I bought my blender, you know, water pitcher. No, just the basic kitchen things. But, you know, in terms of pots and pans, you have to buy. But that big mixing bowl came with it. But she did have some cups and stuff like that. But, you know, very It wasn't like a set or anything, so I bought a lot of that. You're making me so hungry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Maggie, what's your take on boycotting the holidays around negative family? They are stuck in childhood trauma. I've moved on. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't hang around people who are negative and are going to mess up with my head. Mm-mm. I have no problem. If you call it boycotting, you can't call it that. That's fine. And it's like around the elections with all the people back and forth. People weren't talking to each other, and they'd go to Thanksgiving dinner, gonna be an argument. I probably would boycott that too. Can you fax me a plate, Greta? You're so funny. But you know what? I think we're going to come. I was hoping we were going to come to the time where we could take ourselves and zoom ourselves back to another place. I'm still waiting. Star Trek, I was waiting for that time to come before before I exit, but I don't think it's going to happen. But we could do the, what do they call these things? The drones. We can have the drones deliver it. So ladies and gents, let's just embrace what life has brought into our life. And I'm very understanding of some traumatic things that happen to people in their childhood. And I'm telling you, there is a program called Underbelly or something where this guy interviews people who are in the streets, children, child prostitutes and stuff. And I had to stop. This is the part of the guarding my heart. I had to stop watching because it was so heart-wrenching, the amount of damage human beings can do to children, your own flesh and blood. Oh my God, I had to stop watching. So I was like, okay, I don't want to get myself into a state of depression, thinking that this world is so awful, and it is. You have to choose the positive. Choose the people you hang around with. And that's what I said in my last video. I said, if you're a 60-plus-year-old person and you're stuck in your ways, you're uppity, I'm moving on. I am not going to hang around with you because I don't have that kind of time. You should have been able to find yourself and fix yourself. It's not my job to fix you right now. So I move on. I remove myself from the situation. But yes, people can have such trauma, but you also hear of people who've gone through so much and have overcome, right? Children who were raped, who this and that. And the ability of the human spirit to recover, to heal is amazing, but it is possible if you want it to be. So if you're saying, oh my God, my dad molested me, oh, I can't ever do anything. Yes, you can. And then should be your revenge to rise above that and be whole again. Just not allowing that evil that was done to you to define who you are and the rest of your life. It starts up here and up here. You work at it. And I'm amazed sometimes when I see people. There was a woman I was watching. I don't know if you've seen her story. She's Asian. And she was talking about how she was trafficked and how she got out. And now she's helping other girls. Sometimes using your pain to help others is the best way to heal yourself. But if you hang on to the pain and you can't let it go and you just, for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, it still worries me, sis. That's not healing. That's not what healing looks like, right? Oh, women are super fragile, but also super strong. I'm amazed sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. But you don't know what you're capable of until you're going through it, right? Because sometimes we rise above such thing and you look back and you're like, I can't even imagine how I got through that. But you did. You did. You have this thing in you that you don't know how much capacity you have until you tap into it. but it's there to be tapped into. We just don't tap into it because it's more comfortable for us to live to the pain and say, oh, I'm so hurt and this and this and that. It's a lot easier to do that, right? All right. Oh, hour and 30 minutes. We should be done now. Sending all the love and wishing all the magical. Thank you so much. You're quite welcome. Go try it at home. I didn't think I had one more push to birth my child into this world. That's right. That's right. I mean, like I said, you don't know what you're capable of until you do it. And then you surprise yourself. We are strong. We are strong. 60 Plus crew is loaded with wisdom. Yes, ma'am. Listen to young folks. Subscribe, share, like. Yay! Yes. So Wednesday at 6 p.m. my time is when I'm having the live for the seasoned creators. So if you've ever thought of starting a YouTube channel, or you feel like you have something you'd like to share with the world and that might be a way to do it, make sure you tune in, okay? You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye, guys. Have a good day. God bless. Enjoy your Sunday. Can I see the plate again? Yes. You're torturing yourself. I'm going to call her friend. I'm going to come here and get that cornbread. Oh, my God. Oh, no. I'm going to have to call for some help. Did you see it, Jess? I'll take a picture and put it on the Facebook page. All right, guys. Lovely chatting with you. Have a good day. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye-bye. Love you all. Take care.